So all your friends are now married and you're feeling like you're left out, or perhaps like you have to find somebody really quickly. I wouldn't suggest that. Welcome to my Broken to Brave podcast. I'm Donna Barnes. When all your friends get married, it brings up a whole bunch of feelings and issues. However, I want to really encourage you not to act on any of them because I think I've been pretty open about saying that a lot of people have told me that they knew on their wedding day that they were making the biggest mistake of their lives, in that a lot of those people have done that because all of their friends were married and they felt like they needed to too, or largely too because they felt like they met somebody in college and then they went all through college together and then all their other friends got married, so they thought that's what they were supposed to do too, so they married their college sweetheart because everybody else did. I don't suggest that. I really want to encourage you to not compare yourself to other people and not judge yourself by others' progress. Because look, if I'm honest, I worked for a shoe company for 13 years as a shoe model, Born Shoes, actually. And I became very friendly with all of the different salespeople and all the different people that worked for that company. The shoe shows were 4 times a year, and we'd get together for sales meetings and stuff in between. I saw these people quite frequently, people who were single, just like me, and even just the other models that I used to work with, right? Who all found partners, got engaged, got married, had children. And I was one of those people feeling like, wow, everybody else's life is moving forward and mine is just kind of staying still. However, I had to remind myself that I had made choices to pursue my career and just a lot of things that I needed to do on my own, which prevented me from really getting married too soon or feeling pressured to get married just because everybody around me was. So I'm sharing this to help you hopefully feel a little bit more empowered about the choice of being single. And if all your friends are now getting married, be happy for them. Try not to allow it to make you feel badly about yourself that you're not also getting married just because all of your friends are. And then use the time by yourself productively. Because yes, it's fabulous to have friends to get together with and go out and do things, but it does prevent us from doing things in our own life that we need to do. Right? I mean, a much younger me who was very social and was out all the time, I always had a long list of things that I was trying to get done. So when you are single and have time to yourself, it's the perfect time to start checking off all those things on those lists that you need to get done. And you can also create new friendships. I think it's the perfect time to, if you have an interest in something, go join a hobby group or join a sport, a little league or baseball league, or if you have a runner, join a running team. Like in New York, they have New York Road Runners, is a great way to make new friends that also have commonality with you, which is always a good thing. And embrace being single. Don't put pressure on yourself to feel like I have to hurry up and find somebody and I have to marry somebody. And most definitely, if you're already dating somebody, don't feel like you have to now marry that person just because all your friends are getting married. And if you're a woman watching this, I know it's frustrating if you've been a bridesmaid a few times, you're in everybody else's wedding, and when is it going to be your turn to be the bride? But having been a bridesmaid in several weddings, I assure you it's much better off to make a really sound decision about when you are ready to get married for you, because you actually found somebody that you really find enhances your life, makes you happy, has commonality with you, and is the love of your life. Hopefully your best friend that you can't keep your hands off of, right? And I don't think you should ever settle for less than that. I really don't. Settling is when you marry somebody because you think you should, right? Or because everybody else is, so you should too. I'm not a fan of that. And I think it's a massive mistake. And it's certainly not going to make you happy in the long run. That's why I wanted to talk about it today. I'd really like to discourage you from feeling pressure that you have to get married if everybody around you is getting married. You don't. You do not have to do what everybody else does. I mean, when I was a kid, my father used to say, if everybody else was jumping off the bridge, would you jump off the bridge too? Right? Like the point being, just because everybody else is doing something doesn't mean you have to either. We are all individual and we all have our own feelings and goals. and thoughts. So if getting married is something that's really important to you and you'd really like to do that, and that's why it's putting pressure on you now that you feel like you have to do that too, give yourself permission to be choosy and to wait until the timing is right for you. And honestly, if all of your friends are getting married, all your other friends are tired of going to weddings and spending money for weddings, right? So they don't want to come to yours too. So think about that, right? If all your friends are getting married, somebody else getting married is the last thing they want to hear. So I think you should hold out until you really feel like you've met the love of your life and that you're 100% ready to get married. And don't let it put pressure on you. And still keep those friendships. You can still hang out with people, and just because they're married, and certainly people still have girls' night out or guys' night out, and you can still hang out with your friends who have gotten married and be happy for them. And don't allow that to make you feel badly about yourself in any way, because really, there's nothing to feel badly about. I think it's a significantly stronger choice to choose to remain single than to get married for the wrong reasons. So I made another episode about unhappily engaged and knowing that you're engaged and the wedding's planned and you want to get out of it, right? I'll put that in the comments so that you can watch that if that's something that you're considering, or if you're already engaged and feeling like you really don't want to get married, right? Because marriage isn't something to take lightly. I mean, people do get divorced, and I think it's, perfectly fine to get divorced if you've made a mistake about who you married. But if I'm honest, part of the reason I never got married was because a much younger me didn't think that I could commit to the rest of my life with somebody. So I wasn't ready to get married till I was really almost 40. I actually think you can make a more informed decision about who you could spend the rest of your life with when you've had more life experience to recognize who you are and have had more relationships to realize what is most important to you in a relationship. Every relationship that we have should teach us something about what we really want and don't want in a relationship, right? Like sometimes what you don't want is more important than what you do want. In recognizing that in picking a partner. And when you're crazy about someone and they're waving tons of bright red flags, don't ignore them, right? Like I always say, if someone tells you something about themselves, believe them. That is not going to change. That's who they are. I think it's much smarter to make a really clear, informed decision about who you're going to marry and the timing of that based on what is best for you, not because there's pressure that everybody else around you is getting married. So I think you should use the time that you now have more to yourself to really explore new things that you like to do. Find some hobbies, join a new club, find a new sport, get in the best shape of your life, right? Like, check things off your to-do list, clean out your closets, right? They say that's good feng shui. As you clean out your closet, you're cleaning out your life, right? So I think there's many things that you can do while you're single and by yourself that you don't take the time to do when you're going out with friends constantly. And honestly, I think as you get older, that's just a natural progression. I'm in my 50s now. When I was in my 30s, I was rarely home at night. And if I was home one night, I really welcomed the opportunity to just be at home and relax. So it's a transition if you're used to living that kind of social lifestyle to then be single and be by yourself. And it's hard not to feel lonely when you first get into that. And then when you first go through a breakup, you feel lonely too because you're used to having someone around. But lonely doesn't have to mean a sad thing. Sometimes if you embrace being alone instead of calling it loneliness, that you're just happily alone, it's a perception thing. And I really welcome time to myself. I get so much more done, right? I mean, when I make these videos, I'm perfectly happy to have time by myself so that I can think about what I want to talk about and I'm not distracted. So whatever it is that you enjoy doing, utilize being single and that time to do that, because it'll help you learn more about yourself and what's most important to you, which will help you make better choices in who your partner, your life partner, could be. So give yourself a break. Don't be sad. Don't put pressure on yourself to find a relationship. It's really okay that your friends are getting married if that's right for them. It doesn't mean that it's right for you. And don't put pressure on yourself to have to do something just because everybody else is doing it. So do me a favor and like my video if I'm helpful to you at all. And thanks for watching. I look forward to seeing you in my next episode.